Hey, what's going on, guys? Copy Dog here, and today I'm going to do my Overwatch League power rankings. I wanted to get it out earlier, but I got my wisdom teeth removed, and it's been a living hell. I wanted to make an in-depth on each team, on why I ranked them where I ranked them, but I just don't have the time to make that. I want to get this out before Overwatch League starts tomorrow, so that way people can't say, oh, you changed your rankings because of the outcome or whatever. So today I'm just going to do my rankings how I think they are. Note that these are rankings and opinions. Opinions change, or everyone's opinions are different. I'm doing this in one take as well, so if I mess up a lot, sorry. Okay, let's get started. One quick thing I do want to add before this video starts, I'm going to use my own gameplay. So sorry for that below tier stuff. I just bought a PC and I'm still trying to get good, but you can rest assured that as this channel moves forward, I am going to become a god. So yeah, just putting that out there. Enjoy the vid. Okay, number 20, I have the Florida Mayhem. I'm not impressed at all with this roster. Just a bunch. It's the definition of a budget Korean team. I feel like I hate Florida Mayhem. They have Hagopen, which is their only good player, really. Swan was hyped a little bit, but I don't think he's going to do that good. So Florida Mayhem is ranked number 20. Number 19, I got the Washington Justice. Pretty sure everyone has Washington Justice either at 19 or at 20 because they deserve to be here. It's not a good roster. They have Janice. I guess that's an okay thing, but other than that, it's just like, who on this team is like gonna like carry? Like Otto won't carry. I mean, he was on a team that went 0-40 for crying out loud. And they have a language barrier, 5 Koreans and 3 US players, which means that they can't run a full Korean roster, which would be a benefit. If they could run a full Korean roster, I'd honestly put them 1 or 2 ranks higher, but they just don't have that many good players. So I don't think this team is going to do good. I have no faith in them. Number 18, I have the Boston Uprising. This is the after Gamsu thing. I don't even think Gamsu was going to start regardless, because, I mean, if they released Gamsu, they were probably going to start with Axiom anyways. Fusion, I think, is one of my favorite players. I loved watching him in the World Cup. I hope he starts because he's a beast of his own. And honestly, like, he's really their only hope. They have 2 below average DPS players. I mean, Aim God is a worse version of Neko, still toxic. Now the only Korean player, I'm pretty sure, on this roster. Note is good, but I mean, how good can one off tank do for your entire team? So that's why they're here. Oh, also Alamo, I'll mention Alamo. Brazilian, shout out to him. I'm Brazilian as well. I hope he does good. I mean, I hope this team does good. I do like some of the players on this team. I just have no faith in them. Number 17, I have the Chengdu Hunters, which I'm putting them a little high. But that's because I do have hope for this roster. I like the full Chinese approach. I mean, Shanghai did that last season. We saw what happened to them. But I feel like Chengdu, like, I feel like they're going to do good. And one of the biggest things with Chengdu is they pulled players out of retirement. I think it was, let me check. Where are they? Yeah, they pulled out YXL and Bacon Jack out of retirement. And it's just like, those are both hit scan players, and they were playing a hit scan game. Plus, like, they're really good at esports. Chinese players are really good at esports. So I don't think they're going to have that big of a problem adapting back to Overwatch. And Late Young is just, he was just a god. Like, if Gushui wasn't impressive at the World Cup, Late Young was just insane. So I have hope that this roster will do better, but they won't do good enough fast enough. So that's why they are at 17. Number 16, I have the European Juggernaut Paris Eternal. I don't like the tanks on this team. Or I like Cruz as a healer. He was really good in the World Cup. I see this team and I see what they're trying to do, but I don't think that they'll be able to do it, you know. Soon in Shadowburn, sure, they were good. Some would say really good. I would just say good. I mean, I could name like 10 players better than each of them on their roles. But other than that, Cruz, Soon, Shadowburn, like the only 3 good players on this team. I think the other ones are going to disappoint. I just feel like this team is going to flop. But something that they do have, which can be a saving grace for them. I love their coaches. I don't know the coach's name, but they come from Europe, and Europe was really known for their goats comps, and they were really good at goats. And goats is a big thing in this first stage, so I feel like they're gonna do really good this first stage. But after that, it's just like, oh, dude, this team is. I hope they don't flop. I do love Paris. I like that they stick to their name, you know, unlike London. Number 15, we have the Houston Outlaws. It's just if you finish 7th place, right, missing playoffs barely, right? Well, not barely, but yeah, barely missing playoffs by like 2 games, like a 2 map differential or game differential, whatever. And then the only thing you do is add a player, which is Dante. They only added Dante, right? And it's just like you guys finished 7th. Like, do you guys realize that? Like, you guys need to improve as a roster. That's what a lot of teams did. They improved. And Houston Outlaws is just like, we're just not going to improve. We're just going to stay the same. So, while every other team got better, they stayed the same, which means that if other teams get better, they get worse. So, I do love Dante, but it's funny. San Francisco would get rid of Dante and pick up Striker, so it's kind of just like an Omega lol. Yeah, I just don't like Optic. You know, Optic is my least favorite org, so yeah, there's that too. Spree though, I really hope they put Spree in instead of Cool Matt. Spree's just better. Raucus is a bot. Okay, at least you know in the game, like I could never be as good as Raucus. I suck at this game. Okay, at number 14, I have the Dallas Fuel. I like this roster. I really do. It's just, will they be able to do good enough? I like their backline. I like the closer edition. That was huge. Even though I feel like Harry Hook, he did really good. As a healer, closer is just like, you know, on another level, healing-wise. And just like as a shot caller in game. And then Unko is just one of the most underrated Zens. I feel like he's definitely top 5, if not top 3 Zens in the world. So, oh my gosh, I'm having a problem breathing. So yeah, Dallas Fuel. I don't like Zachary. I just like, he's not ready for Overwatch League. He just wasn't ready on the Fusion University roster. He wasn't even the hard carry. It was Who Are You and Alarm and doing most of the work. So I don't know why they added Zachary. I feel like adding Zachary is just an insult to what you could have added, you know, as a roster. Like they could have picked up Water, for instance. Water was an insane player. He would be better for this team than Zachary. I don't even feel like Zachary's even going to play that much. He's just not ready. I hope he does good, though. I like the kid. Okay, 13, we have the Toronto Defiant. I want to put this team higher. I really do. And I feel like they are going to go higher. I want them to go higher. I like this team. They are the second most underrated team going to the season, in my opinion. I feel like they are one of the 2 dark horses. I'll talk about the other one later. But yeah, I like this team. I like Envy. He was insane. They just replaced him for Space because Space probably worked better. Arguably, Envy was better, but Space is... They were both really good. It like comes to a situation where you have 2 insane off tanks, and you just need to pick the one that works better with the team, and that's what Space did compared to Envy. But I like Envy a lot. I love him a lot. He's gonna do really good with this roster, and so is Neko, and so is Asher. Asher, I hope he plays over. I think it's Ivy that's the hit scan player. Don't quote me on that. I feel like Asher should play because he's really good. But yeah, that's it. Defiant is at 13. If I were to move him, I'd probably move him to the 9th, 8th position, and I could arguably put him higher. But they're just unproven right now. I do hope that they do better. At number 12, we have the Soul Dynasty. Now, it's like, just talking about this roster, right? Last year, they were the team that was supposed to win it all. And then they don't even make a stage playoff, let alone the regular season playoffs. And it's just like, okay, so we have a team. They did worse than the Outlaws, right? Mind you. And like, okay, what do we need to do to improve? We have 2 positions we need to improve in, right? We have main tank. They add Fissure. Boom. Amazing signing, right? And then they're like, okay, we need to fix our main healer. Boom, Jesse, problem solved, right? And it's just like, no, I feel like this whole roster needed to be revamped, and they didn't do that. They revamped the things that they needed to, that they think they needed to, which were good revamps, but they needed to do everything else as well, in my opinion, and they didn't. So, honestly, with this team, it just depends on whether they will be able to perform. If they can't perform, then they're going to do worse than 12th. I feel like, also, I don't like Soul Dynasty, just to put that out there, but, yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about this roster. I don't like the Fitz edition as well. I mean, it worked with Jonak signing someone, like an unknown player, but like, Jonak's Jonak, you know? And Fitz is Fitz. Yeah. That's all I have to say on him. At number 11, we have the Atlanta Reign. Now, this is my second favorite expansion team going into this season. DeFran is going to go absolutely off. Kodak is, when I, like, it's funny. When the World Cup game happened with the Germany versus France, I tuned in to the match where Kodak just, like, got the 4-piece. Like, I tuned into the beginning of that match, and he just did that. And I was just like, dude, this guy is insane. And he's super underrated. I feel like he's going to be the Western Jonak. I hate saying that, but he's just going to do really good. And Dako and Pakpo are a really good addition. I feel like most teams should have added a tank duo because they work better together. They already have that synergy. So I like that. It's just, can they do good? They are a team. Can they perform? And I feel like they will perform, but I mean, someone has to be in the 11th position, and I just feel like it's going to be Atlanta Reign. At number 10, we have the Los Angeles Valiant. Now, I had them a lot higher before, like in my rankings, like a month or two ago, and then just over time, it's just like, I just think about it, and it's just like, I don't like this team, you know? I feel like their tanks are one of the best tank duos in the game. Space is definitely, I don't even think this is without a question, he is the best diva in the game right now. Fate, he's really good. Izayaki, their flex support, people say that he's going to do good. I mean, we'll have to see. Kareev, like, it's like if you think about it, why did Kareev move to DPS, right? And it's like they put Kareev on DPS because Bunny and KSF couldn't perform. So it's like, if you have to move one of your healers into a DPS role, what does that say about your DPS? That's all I'm going to say. Los Angeles Valiant at number 10. I want to put them lower, though. And I feel like they will be lower later in the season. But this is just my predictions, what I think right now. Now, this team, I want to put them so much higher. At number 9, we have the Hangzhou Spark. I like this team. Gushui is, in my opinion, at the end of the season, going to get the MVP, and he's going to be named the best main tank in the world. That's my opinion, right? But it's just like, the rest of the team, it's just like, can they perform? They took from the X6 and the 7 gaming core, so it's like, they have a core, which is really good. Got to respect that from rosters. They will do better than number 9, but I just like all these other teams more, and I feel like, just like, yeah. Oh man, this is just thinking about it now. I want to put Spark here, but they are Spark at number 9. At number 8, we have the Shanghai Dragons, and this is the after Gamsu announcement. Huge that Gamsu is on this roster. He was a wasted talent on Boston. He's gonna do a lot better on Shanghai. And when I put before the Gamsu transfer, I had him at number 10. So just like 2 spots lower, right? I had him at number 10. I feel like Gamsu is going to add a lot of leadership to this, a lot of structure to this team. Gamsu, sure, he's not the best main tank, but if there's something that Gamsu was, he was very consistent in his play. There were games, there weren't games where he would either feed or just go off. He was just a consistent main tank throughout all 4 stages, and that's really good. I feel like that's more admirable than someone like a main tank that just pops off, right? So Gamsu's really consistent, I like Giguri. I feel like she was underrated and people are just writing her off. I feel like she's gonna, if she can peak at her like 2016 form, I think. I don't remember when that whole Giguri stuff happened, but if she peaks then, like if she does that this season, Dragons are just gonna go off, dude. It's gonna be crazy. And I'm happy also the Kongdu Panthera core with Luffy and Koma. And I think Diding and Youngjin came from Kongdu Panthera. Let me check real quick. Yeah, it's Diding and Youngjin. Diem, they also picked up Diem, who was a prospect, one of the best players on that Lucky Future roster. I didn't watch him, but from what I've heard, he was insane. So yeah, I really like the Shanghai roster. I really hope they they don't go 0-28, because Jesus, that'd be bad. Number 7, we have the Guangzhou Charge. Now, this is where I feel like people are gonna roast me the most, saying, "Oh, Guangzhou is gonna do bad." I love this roster so much. There's something about them. It's just like they're so underrated by so many people. I think like they're around like the 10th to 12th mark in most people power rankings. This team is going to prove a lot of people wrong. I feel like they are they're the best. They're the second best expansion team. And I just feel like I want to put them top 5, right? For this team, I feel like they're either going to be in top 5 or they are going to be in bottom 15. And that's just like, it just depends on how they will do. And I feel like they are going to do amazing. So I am putting them this high. Hotba is a super nice piece to have. Oh my gosh, excuse me. He was in a grand final. He is very flexible. And then something that a lot of people don't know about this roster is that the Metabellum core, which is what Guangzhou mainly is, it's mainly Metabellum, they were taught English. So they are really good at speaking English. And you can watch some of their videos on YouTube, and you can just like hear the players speak English, like the Metabellum players, and it just sounds so good. It's just like, yeah, this is how they're supposed to sound. So literally, they don't have to implement Eileen and Only Wish yet. They can just run that Metabellum core plus Kip and Hotba, who were both English-speaking players. Hotba was on Philadelphia Fusion, so he spoke English. And they could just run that to begin with, and then implement Eileen, who is insane. They can implement Eileen and Only Wish and Shu later on down the road. And if they pick up, right?
If they pick up 2 more times faster, and they have a 12-man roster with 1 substitute in each position, and then they could do in-house scrims. And I feel like in-house scrims is a huge advantage that no team did. And it's like in-house scrims, you just can hide everything from everyone and come up with like the most insane stuff. So
Guangzhou is at number 7. I talked about them a lot. I'm sorry. I just love this roster, and God, they're gonna do so good. At number 6, I have the Vancouver Titans. I don't really have much to say about them. Runaway core, they're gonna do good. That's pretty much it. I'm glad that this team stuck it out together and are in the league together. They're going to prove that they deserve to be in the league, but I just don't feel like they're going to be the best. Number 5, I have the Philadelphia Fusion. I just feel like this team is just going to do really good. That's pretty much it. I mean, I saw a thing, it was like from not showing up to the preseason to being in the grand finals. This roster proved a lot of people wrong. They were a dark horse last season, and they're in the grand finals. So I feel like now people are rating them a lot higher because they deserve to be higher. Carpe is the best DPS in the game. EQO is insanely flexible. Poco, I feel like since Hoppa's not on the roster now, obviously Poco is gonna get full time, and he deserves to be a full time player. He's a really good off tank. I love Neptuno. I feel like he's the top Mercy, and then adding Elk into there is just like a cherry on top, you know. I hope Snillo plays. I really loved watching Snillo. He was really good at Tracer, and you know he played a season of Contenders now, and they won. So yeah, Snillo is gonna do really good. Wow, that's a lot of talking. Number 3, I have the San Francisco Shock. Really, the only complaint I don't like about this team is that they have 5 DPS. They should have picked up like another main support so that Moth doesn't have to play full time. Because like
Something that a lot of teams, like it happened last season, was burnout. It happens like Overwatch and Effect. So having backups for those players is like really good. So you can always like pick up the game or 2 like if San Francisco is going against like the Washington Justice or Florida Man, they can run the bad players and just give those like the top players just a breathing thing. But
at the same time, the last player San Francisco Shock was signed was Striker, and God, Striker is insane. This like, I feel bad for Sinatra because he's gonna be a bench warmer, but dude, Striker, oh man, I love that guy. He's gonna do insane. I'm glad he's off the Boston Uprising, because dude, he's wow. Also, Violet, or Vile 2, however the hell you say his name, he's gonna do really good. I hope he does good. And then I like their 2 off tanks, Nevix and Choi Oben, were super underrated last season. Like when San Francisco wasn't doing that good, one of the 3 players that were actually performing was Nevix. Like, what was it? Nomi, I think, was the tank back then. He wasn't doing that good. Baby B was doing all right. Dante was popping off in stage 2. Stage 1, he was kind of weak as well. Sleepy was really good. And then who was the support? I think it was Dak, right? Yeah, Dak didn't do that good. So Nevix was like one of those people that always performed regardless. And Choi Oben is gonna come in on his own. Like he's gonna like evolve like an egg, you know, and just like do really good. So San Francisco Shock at number 3 or 4. Did I say 3, 4, dude? Oh my God, I lost count. San Francisco Shock at number 4. Now this one might be a little biased because they are my favorite teams. You know, hashtag Shields Up gang. Number 3 is the Los Angeles Gladiators. I feel like this team did it right. You know, they have 3 insane DPS and Surefour, Hydration, and Decay. They have 4 insane tanks. They have Void and Bishu in the off tank role. They have Roar as a main tank and Panker as a 2-way. And I feel like, and then they have 3 healers, Big Goose, Shaz, and Reba. I feel like this team did it right. I feel like most other teams should have followed this path to pick up 2 off tanks, a main tank, have another main tank on a 2-way, have 3 DPS, and have 3 supports. I feel like 10-man rosters, if it's not a 12-man roster, 10-man rosters are the next best thing, and Los Angeles Gladiators do that. I love every player in this team. They're going to do really good. This is the team that I think is going to win. Even though I'm putting them at number 3, I feel like this is going to be the team that wins, and God, I hope they win. And yeah, they're my number 3 pick. Number 2, we have the Season 1 champions themselves, the London Spitfire. I like this team. I don't like that they're London and they picked up all Korean, but you know, it's another story. A lot of other teams did that, you know, Vancouver, Florida, who are some other ones, you know. They're a meta dependent team. That was something that was wrong with them, but they did win Season 1, and yeah, I like that. Sorry, I had to pause the recording because someone came in very rudely. Okay, that means I have to get this done quick. Number 1, I have the New York Excelsior, the best team, the most consistent team. Do I think they'll win? No, I don't think that this team is going to win. They have a curse on them. But regardless of that, they are the best team regardless. I don't know why they picked up Flower Nene, especially since Flower is on the bench for Mangachu. But other than that, their core in general was insane. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Okay, so for just a quick recap, I'm going to throw all the teams in their rankings right now. Behold the true rankings of the season. Something I did add when I rewatched my audio, I said I wanted to move a lot of teams higher up. What I meant by that is, like, in my heart, I want them higher up, but my brain, which is the part I trust the most, thinks that they're going to be lower. But honestly, who knows? Washington Justice can win the whole thing, right? So no one really knows. Just kind of like we all have a basis. and whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyways, thank you for sticking through this long ass video. I'm going to be covering Overwatch League a lot and just other esports in general. Whatever the hell I want to do, I'm going to do on this channel. Make sure to like the video if you agree, which you probably won't because my power rankings are definitely out there. And if you want to see more content like this, yeah, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.